All right, good morning, yogis. Welcome to Melt Gentle Vinyasa with Gab. Uh, Gabrielle just joined us. There she is. Good morning. You made it.
Yes, good morning. Barely.
Hold on. All right. So I'm just going to get started with class right away. We're in Florida right now. This is Serenity's parents' home. This is Serenity's little puppy, Stella. So she'll be joining us too. But for today's class, um, Gab, have you had breakfast yet, or are you on an empty stomach? Okay, cool. Have you ever practiced Nali Kriya before? Okay, cool. So then today we're going to do Nali Kriya before we begin asana. So this is one of the things that we learned from Guruji BNS Iyengar during our trip. So Nali Kriya, you've probably seen it, right? Where like the yogis sit and their like stomach is like undulating and waving. So this is a kriya, and it's a practice of purifying and detoxifying the body, right? So I think I sent like a screenshot of something to the group chat. But Nali Kriya is really, really good for improving digestion. It's really good for improving our core and connecting with our core muscles in a deeper way. It is great for detoxifying the body, aiding in weight loss, balancing hormones, reducing stress. It really is an advanced type of yoga practice, and it's something that you only want to do whenever you have an empty stomach. So in this system of Ashtanga that I've been learning with Serenity, we always start with Nali Kriya first. So what's going to happen? I'll explain it, then I'll demonstrate it, and then you and I will try it together, okay? But what's going to happen is we're going to take a few breaths. We're going to exhale all the air out of our body. And then once we're completely empty, we're going to suck the belly in. So squeezing the belly in. Hands, we're going to start standing as well. Hands come to the inner thighs, and then you're just pressing left and right hand onto your side. So in the beginning, this is how we just develop that connection to the body. It's just with pressing because we're using the muscles on the left side to engage the left side of our abs, then the right side. And then eventually you'll be able to do it seated without having to do anything. Like you'll be able to just do that naturally. Okay. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna stand up here, right? I'm gonna stand. You want to do like a little, not like quite a squat, but just leaning forward. I'm going to exhale all the air out of my body, right? And as I'm exhaling, I'm squeezing the belly in. And then from there, I'm pressing left hand and right. Okay. Do you want to try it? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stand up.
Are you pressing your hips left and
Yeah.
right?
So I'm pressing. So my hands are on the inner thighs, and I'm not real. I'm just pressing into my hands. Yeah. So I like to lift my shirt just so I can see my belly. So almost like a little squat, hands to the inner thighs. So exhale all the air out of your body. You want to be able to see your belly. Squeeze the belly button in. And then once you're completely empty, then we press left and right. And if you need to catch your breath, then you stand up. We're doing all of that. Gabrielle, we're doing all of that on an exhale, right? So the whole time you're holding the exhale while you're pressing left and right. So try this. Try bringing your fingers to the inside. So take a exhale all the air out of your body. Squeeze the belly in. And then press left and right. And you want to see some movement on the belly. And at first, it's going to take time. It usually takes about a year. And then once you need to catch your breath, you let go, you stand up, take a deep breath in.
I have practiced this before, actually. I've attempted it during
Yeah.
my yoga teacher training years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been, I have never attempted it since.
Okay, cool. Let's do 5 more rounds. Yeah. So I'm going to talk through it again. So we take a breath in, breath out, all the air out. Keep exhaling more than you think you should. From there, I'm squeezing belly button in towards my spine. I want to see my ribs. And then once I'm empty, I'm pressing left and right. I try to get to about 10 rounds. Then I need to sit up, take a breath in, catch my breath. So let's do that a few more times. Okay, so same thing. Exhale all the air out. Hollow out the belly, squeeze the belly in. And then pressing left and right. Standing up, taking a breath in. Okay, let's do that one more time. Okay, coming to standing. Good job.
I
That's
noticed a difference in the
Nali
last.
Kriya.
I think I finally got it on the very last one.
It takes like I've been doing it for a couple of months now, and I'm still like it's still clicking, yeah. But it takes about a
Yeah.
year.
Is that the same thing where you literally see someone's stomach like rolling?
Yeah, yeah. It's because that's what you're creating that body awareness to be able to start undulating, and then eventually you take it the other way, and then you'll be able to move it in different directions, and then you could even go like up and down. So it's developing that awareness in the belly. So it's really good for like losing weight, but also strengthening your core because you're learning how to activate those inner muscles, you know?
Mm.
Okay, so let's keep going. Let's go ahead and come to standing on the mat. I'm just going to switch cameras here. Okay, so coming to standing on the mat, let's stand to the back of our mat. Big toes together, little space through the heels. Palms can be facing forward. Soft bend through the knees, and then just noticing what the breath feels like as you send this breath into the belly, all the way down to the soles of the feet. And with the lips sealed, soft exhale through your nose. And just take a moment to just feel the heat building inside of your belly. And today's practice is all about maintaining and building this heat in the body, opening the legs, the hamstrings, doing our melt, gentle vinyasa flow. So move in and out of the posture slowly. And we may even hold some of these deep stretches as we move. Inhale, extended Tadasana, arms overhead, gaze up towards the palms, elbows slightly bent forward, engagement through the belly. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from your hips as you lower down. Inhale, rise halfway, straight spine, shift forward. Exhale, squat and curl. Lift your heels, curl into a little ball. Chin comes in towards the chest, forehead towards the knees. And then just hold this position as you find a steady pace to your breath. Lifting your heels, finding this deep stretch for your ankles. One more breath in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinge from your hips. Lower down, gaze back. Crown of the head melts down towards the ground. Inhale, you rise halfway. Exhale, walk the hands forward. High plank. And for today's class, moving very slowly, very intentionally, bringing a lot of awareness into the space between the poses. As you shift 2 inches forward with your breath in, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower down halfway, elbows glued by your sides, hold. Inhale, upward facing dog, lift the heart, lift the knees, lift the gaze. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Holding this downward facing dog for 5 long breaths, maintaining the breath in and out through the nose. And as you keep breathing here, keep lifting your hips. Allow your heels to melt down to the ground. It's okay if they don't touch. Just feel this length from the hamstrings all the way down to the ground. Now in our next Sun A, I'm going to go breath to movement. And in a third one, you'll flow on your own. Inhale, heels high, gaze forward. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Step or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise halfway first. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended Tadasana, arms rise. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana once again. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, squat and curl. This time staying here just for a breath in and a breath out. One more breath in as we prepare to transition. Exhale, folds, heels melt, forehead down to the ground. Inhale, rise halfway. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. This third flow is completely on your own, so move at your own pace. Take a few more breaths in this downward dog first. And once you feel ready, we'll meet back in this downward facing dog. Again, moving at your own pace, no rush. Each movement has its own breath. Keeping the breath in and out through the nose the entire time. And if you're watching this recording, you can always pause the video, take a little bit longer. Once you find this downward facing dog, continuing on to the rest of our sequence. Start today with an inhale, three-legged dog, right leg up and back, toes pointed down. Hold this pose. Maintaining this position for about 5 breaths. And as you do that, keep micro tweaking the pose, right? Finding a deeper alignment. Little toes pointing down towards the ground, right hip slightly down in line with the left. Right heel lifts a little bit higher as you press with your left and right hand, adding a little more depth on the back of the left hamstring. One more breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Round forward, shoulders over your wrists, forehead towards your knees. Inhale, three-legged dog. Reach up, reach back. Exhale, low lunge. Right foot in between both hands. Find this position here. Left heel melts down to the ground. Inhale, warrior one. Warrior one, palms overhead. Today we allow the gaze to follow the palms as you bring the hips square to the front of the mat. Biceps by the ears as you gaze up. Recommit to the bend in the front knee, knee stacked over the ankle. Slowing down the breath in. And the breath out. One more inhale. And exhale, we lower down. Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. You can always take these on your knees or skip them and go straight to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is where we meet. Finding our breath in this downward facing dog. From here, inhale, three-legged dog, left side. Left side and hold. And we're going for about 5 breaths as well. Again, tiny little movements here to just experiment and know what it feels like to hold this position in your body. Very common for most of the weight to go to the left hand. So see if you can bring more tension to your right palm. Little toes on the left foot pointed down. Left hip in line with the right. Left heel rises. Micro bend through your right knee as you inhale deeply. Exhale, knee to nose. Shoulders over your wrist. Find that connection as best as you can. Inhale, three-legged dog. Reach up, reach back. Exhale, low lunge. Left heel melts. Find the heel to heel alignment if you can. Maybe even a little bit wider with your left foot towards the left side of the mat if you need that. And on your inhale, you rise for warrior one. Hold. Hips are squared in warrior one. And we press through the knife edge of the back foot just as much as you press through the front left foot. Deep, slow breaths through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Little bit of depth in that left knee. One more deep breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. So we'll be adding to that flow now. Breath to movement with some slight changes. Inhale, three-legged dog, right leg up and back, a little bit shorter this time. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog, reach up, reach back. Exhale, low lunge. Left heel melts. Inhale as you rise. Warrior one. Gaze up. Exhale, prayer twist. Hands to prayer by your heart. Hinge forward. Left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Now, if you need to, the modification here is bringing left knee to the ground. But if you can, try to find and maintain your heel on the floor with your leg extended. And wherever we are, we just give thanks to these bodies for the opportunity to practice, to do anything at all. Stay for one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, we slowly come out. Warrior one. Exhale. Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low push-up. Same thing, elbows glued by the sides. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, breath in, three-legged dog. Right away, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. Left foot in between the hands, heel melts down to the ground, heel to heel alignment. Inhale, we find that warrior one position. Settle into this warrior one for a second. Recommit to the bend, find your alignment. One more breath in. Exhale, prayer twist. Hands at the level of the heart. Hinge forward, right elbow to the outside of your left knee. If you took the modification on one side, do the same thing on this side. And as a rule of thumb, we want to spend an extra breath or two in the side that feels more challenging. We usually do the opposite, especially if we're guiding people through a practice, private clients or students. the tendency for them, if they're watching recordings, is to just take a little bit more time on the easier side and less time on the more challenging side. So we want to encourage your students to spend a little bit more time. One more breath in at least. And a breath out. Inhale, warrior one. Back to center, gaze up. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. High to low push-up. Moving slow, 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 slow. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. Now for the change, putting it all together, adding one last posture in this sequence. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Right away, exhale, prayer twist. Now we're here just for a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, warrior one. Back to center you go. And on the exhale, extend the front leg. Hinge from your hips. And we melt forward onto that right leg for pyramid pose. Excellent point to use our blocks. We could also come to fingertips. Plug your right hip back, left hip forward. Take an inhale as you rise halfway. Exhale as you melt onto your right leg. Gaze towards your belly button. Allow your forehead to melt. And we just take a few breaths in this shape. And really the work here is in plugging that right hip back and just noticing this deep extension. Option here to lift your right toes as well if you want to feel more of this in your hamstring. We hold for the breath in. And slowly melt with the breath out. Now slowly inhale, low lunge. Bend your right knee, lift your left heel off of the ground. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana or skip it. Option for the little challenge by lifting your right knee off of the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, now we get to do that on the opposite side. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Heel to the ground. Inhale as you rise. Warrior one. Exhale, prayer twist. Hinge from your hips. Twist. Right elbow to the knee. Here for just a breath in. Melt on the breath out. Inhale back to our warrior one. And then here, stay for the exhale as you set up for the shape. Extend your front leg. Back heel is grounded. Take a breath in. You find length, gaze up. Exhale, pyramid pose. Hinge from your hips and melt down. Maintaining a steady pace to the breath as you plug left hip back, right hip forward. Allowing your arms to slightly bend as you let your forehead relax. Send your gaze towards your navel. You can take it halfway lift with the breath in, just to find length through the spine, and then exhale as you melt just a little further. So scanning the body as you hold this, and just notice where there's tension, where there's resistance on behalf of the body to gravity, to the shape. And then we use the breath to relax those parts. Option here as well to lift your left toes and just feel a little more activation through the hamstring. Stay for another breath in. And the breath out. Inhale slowly, low lunge. Left knee bends, right heel lifts. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana with the optional challenge. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job. Take a breath in, heels high. And on the exhale, child's pose. Big toes together, knees out wide, forehead melts down to the ground. You can also bring your hands to prayer overhead just to find a deeper stretch for your shoulders. Forehead comes all the way down. I'm keeping my forehead lifted so I can speak into the mic. And just breathe. Breathing in and out slowly through the nose. Okay. With the hands slowly come to a seat on your mat. Bring your knees together, bring your toes together. We're going to find toe stand. Tucking the toes, including the pinkies, and coming to a seat on the heels. Take your time. So big stretch for the fascia. Okay. So toe stand, right? We're tucking the toes, coming to a seat on the heels. The heels are together, and I'm sitting down. And then just relaxing the body, softening into the shape. So you can bring the palms face up to receive, face down to ground down. For some people, this is very challenging. So modifications here, we can bring a pillow in between the knees, behind the knees. You can wrap a towel or your mats. You can come to standing on your knees, but if you can, just breathe through that sensation. Opening energetic channels at the soles of the feet. For 3, for 2, and 1. Hands down to the ground, untuck the toes. You can circle the ankles, wiggle the toes. Come to the center of your mat, knees together. Keep the feet together. Now we sit on the tops of the feet. Camera's all the way over there. So we're gonna bring the hands behind your feet and slowly begin to peel your knees off of the ground. So now we're stretching the front of the feet. Big toes are together, knees are together. And I'm not forcing this. I'm literally just finding the edge of where my body will allow me to go. And instead of rounding forward as best as possible, you want to squeeze your shoulders and lift your chest. For 3, for 2, and 1. Hands down to the ground, coming to all fours. Shoulders over the wrist. Step your right foot back, tuck your toes. And now we're just pressing the heel forward and back. So counteracting that stretch. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Forward and back a few times. Okay. From there, find a seat on your mat. And we're going to start with left knee. Let me tilt the camera slightly. There we go. Okay, so we start with first left knee towards the center of the body. Right knee stacks on top. Now, if this is not possible, like this is not happening for you, then just find a Sukhasana or an easy seat, right? One foot in front of the other. But eventually, we want to work our way all the way here, right? Another option is to bring right foot down to the ground outside of the left knee. Once we find that, we start here, fingertips down towards the ground, find length through the spine. So imagine I'm pulling a string at the top of your head, pulling up towards the ceiling. And just take a few breaths here. We'll go for 5 breaths. Slow inhale through the nose. Slow exhale. And then we take hands, interlace your fingers behind your back. Take an inhale as you let your chest rise, gaze up, chin away from the body. Exhale as you hinge forward, beginning to fold into that shape. Palms of the hands together if we can. And if this is painful, you can always use a rag or a towel and grab both ends of a towel as you hinge forward. Never forcing ourselves into these shapes, but just feeling the edges of the body. 3, 2, 1, slowly rise, release. And now from here, we take right hands to the back of the neck. Left hand comes down to the ground, and then reach right elbow towards the ceiling as you gaze up. Take a deep breath in. Stay for the breath out. Slowly come back to center. Now left hand comes to the back. If the fingertips can touch, that's great. If not, that's totally fine. Just reach as best as you can. Once you find that straight spine, crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Now we can just stay here, or you can begin to hinge forward again. Okay, and we gently come out of that. Hands to prayer, and then we bring left elbow to the outside of the right knee. So slowly rise, hands to prayer, left elbow to the outside of the knee, gaze over your right shoulder. Sending the breath to the belly. And with every inhale, I want to get a little bit taller. I want to find length through my spine. And as the exhale happens, I twist a little further. Okay, good job. Slowly come out of it. So the transition's kind of tricky, right? We're going to keep the feet as they are. Take your hands, bring both hands down to the left-hand side. And then from there, you're just going to spin all the way through, back to the front of the mat, and now opposite knee is on top. Yeah. Okay. So from there, we find this knee to knee alignment if we can. And we start fingertips neutral onto the ground, length through the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Deep breath in and deep breath out. So literally imagine your spine being pulled up from a string at the top of your head. Like a skeleton in science class, right? It's just dangling there from the top of the head. So with every breath in, I feel this string pulling up. And with every breath out, I'm just letting my fingers, my shoulders, the rest of my body melt down. And then gently begin to hinge forward. Find the edge. Notice what that feels like and breathe. Okay, and we gently come out. And now from here, we take left hand this time. Left hand to the back of the neck. Right fingertips a little bit further to the right. And we open and towards the left. Left elbow towards the sky as you send the gaze up towards your left elbow. Now, I'm using this right hand to anchor my body and even press into the ground to create more lift for my ribs on the left side. Deep belly breath in through the nose and deep belly breath out. Slowly back to center. Now we take right hand, and then right hand meets the left. So even for me, my left hand and right hand don't really connect here. And that's okay. Instead of forcing it, just noticing that and just breathing into that sensation. If you ever feel sharp pain in these, just dial it back. You can always bring the hand, especially the right hand, further down. Chin off of the chest. Slow with the breath in. Slow with the breath out. Very slowly release, both arms overhead. And on the exhale, we find this prayer twist. Right elbow hooks right on the outside of the left knee, and then the gaze turns towards the left shoulder. Slowly unwind. Now this time we take the hands behind the hips, gently come out of the pose, back to center, hands behind the hips. We unwind the hands and then just windshield wiper the knees side to side. Okay. Extending the legs out wide. Soft bend through the knees. Take a deep breath in, length through the spine. And exhale, we fold. Starting with that soft bend through the knees. Toes pointed up towards the sky, hinging from your hips. And now we hold this for same thing, about 5 deep breaths. Slowly come back to center. Left hand slides to the outside of the left foot, and we twist. I like to bring left elbow to the inside of the right knee and twist up, letting the gaze follow the ceiling. Breathe into this right side. Deep, deep, deep breath in. Deep breath out. About 3 to 4 more breaths. Slowly rise. And then we switch sides. Right hand to the outside of the right foot. Left hand follows. And we breathe. Okay. Slowly rise. Finding our half pigeon at the front of the mat. Shin parallel to the front of the mat. Right leg slides back. Pigeon pose, we always want to find left knee to the outside of the hip. It's okay if the shin is not perfectly parallel, but definitely find your left knee outside of your hip. You want to look over your left shoulder to make sure your toes are pointed straight back. It's also going to help us find this deep alignment with our spine and the hips. And then from there, we melt forward. Elbows down to the ground. Hinge from the hips and allow your heart to melt. And same thing here, just 5 breaths. In through the nose, out through the nose. Okay, slowly coming out of the shape. Back to center we go. And before we find this half pigeon on the opposite side, lift your leg off of the ground. So we bring right leg down to the floor, and then we're just going to do little kicks with this left leg. Just finding some circulation there, maybe circles with your foot, the ankle. All right. Half pigeon on the opposite side to the back of the mat. Setting ourselves up. Finding the alignment. I didn't say this on the opposite side, but you could always bring a pillow or a blanket underneath your hip on the opposite side. So on this side, it would be my right hip. Whatever leg is in front, that's where we find the adjustment. And then once we're ready, we melt, melting onto that side. Okay. Slowly coming out of this. Heart rises. Back to center you go. And then same thing, we find the outside of the right leg. Lift the right knee, and we're just going to do little kicks here. Circles with the foot. Circles with your ankle. Okay. Coming onto our backs. So from here, a little bit of core work, and then some more deep stretching, and then we are, I'd have enough time for some pranayama. Hands down to the ground, hands underneath your hips, legs up towards the sky. So today's class, big emphasis on the hips. So now we're going to work on strengthening our hip flexors and strengthening the connection between our legs and our core. So start with your heels pointed up, toes pointed down. We lower right leg or left leg down to the ground. Hold. Just take a moment to feel that, notice that. Lift and switch. Hold. lift, and switch. So go ahead and keep going, and now find just a pace that works for you, right? The slower we go, the more we're going to get out of each rep. And then the faster you go, we're just working on different muscles at that point. Yogi's choice, yeah? Three. Last two. And one, both sides. Cool. Bend the knees. From here, extend the legs all the way through. Heels lifted just a few inches off of the ground. Toes pointed back. Lift your head and look towards your toes. Now we're moving into typewriters. We go right and left. Right and left. Right and left. Keep going. Right and left. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both sides. Release. Feet down to the ground. Okay. So from here, little circles with your knees, finding some circulation back to the body. And now, one more time, we bring hands underneath the hips, legs up towards the sky. This time, you're going to lower both legs, lift, and then slight lift of the hips off of the hands. So we lower, we lift, and lift. Lower, lift, and lift. Lower, lift, and lift. Lower, lift, and lift. Keep going. Lift and lift. And we're here just for 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Feet to the ground. Big good morning stretch, opening the front body. Nice. Now from here, grab the back of your knees, rock and roll forward and back. And we find our Navasana boat pose, yeah? Feet off of the ground. So we worked our lower abs. We worked our hip flexors. Now we need to twist, right? Hands come to prayer overhead. And then we tap on the right and tap on the left. Right, left, right, left. And you want to make sure you're tapping the ground. You really feel your fingers connecting with the floor. Right, left, right, and left. Keep going. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, and done. Good job. Earning your breakfast today, G. Now, I've been studying a lot of like McGill, like strength training exercises and like therapeutic work. This is something that I've been really enjoying. So it's a core workout, but it's also a outer hip and outer glute workout. So we bring left elbow down to the ground, and almost like a side plank situation. But instead of lifting our hips, we're actually going to bend our knees. Right hand comes to the hip. You're going to keep this left leg down on the ground, and we're going to lift and lower. So my hip lifts, but my knee and my foot is down on the ground. Yeah, exactly. So lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep going. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold that last one. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Great job. Now we switch sides, yeah? Right forearm to the ground. Bend your knees. How are you doing over there? Thumbs up. Let's go. Okay, so we bend the knees, left hand down to the hip, and same thing on this side, right? We're lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Almost like those machines at the gym, right? Lifting and lowering. And now we're there for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and holds. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Good job. Checking on the time. Okay, perfect. So let's come back to our mat center. Send your legs straight in front of you. We can wiggle the legs. Soft bend through the knees as you inhale both arms overhead. Exhale, Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Hinge from your hips. And we melt all the way down. And just a few moments, a few breaths here to unwind, to release. Okay. Coming out of the shape. Hug your knees in towards your belly, lower down. Massage your low back, left and right. Deep breath in. Exhale, supine twist. Knees to the left, gaze to your right. We're not here for too long. Inhale back to center. Exhale, you switch sides. Knees melt to the right, gaze down to your left. Inhale, center. Curl into a little ball, and we find happy baby pose. Happy baby pose, you can rock from one side to the other. Okay. Curl into a little ball, forehead to knees, deep breath in. Exhale, final Shavasana. And we'll release just for a few minutes. When it's time, I'll guide us through. Slowly begin to extend your arms overhead, fingertips point away from the toes. Fetal position on your right side. Just taking a moment to give thanks for these bodies, for the opportunity to practice. Great privilege that it is to be able to do and practice yoga. And just take a moment to find anything else that you might be grateful for today. And slowly, yogis, working our way towards our seat on our mat. We close today by chanting Om together 3 times. 3 times chanting Om before we end. Hands come to prayer by the heart. Deep breath in to prepare. And first, audible exhale to let it go. Ah. Preparing for our chants. Deep breath in. Hands to our third eye. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. May all the beings in all the realms be happy, be free. And today, may our thoughts, our words, and our actions fall into alignment for our collective liberation. Bow forward and give thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. And hope you have an excellent, excellent day. And we'll see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.
That was
All
wonderful.
right, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you, Gab. Hold on a second before you go.